The 2026 season will see a major improvement in the regulations, including more electrified vehicles and improved biofuel. However, there is one thing that everyone cannot wait to see happening, and that is the joining of two new teams in F1. Those teams are Audi and Porsche, as they are the two of the most profitable branches of Volkswagen. Porsche will likely strike a deal with Red Bull in 2026, but the fate of Audi has remained uncertain for quite some time now. That was just a couple of days ago when it seems like the other German manufacturer has found its home in F1. But is this a deal done? And is there a chance that Audi agrees to a buyout with another F1 team? These and many more will be answered in this video, so stick around to find out more. The entrance of the Volkswagen Group into the F1 has been welcomed with a big excitement both by the teams and the sports executives. However, the company had several demands before it officially announced that it will enter the sport. Some of these demands were for the sport to be more eco-friendly and electrified as much as possible. This will be done in 2026, when a major step will be made towards the electrification of the cars and running on fuel with a much lower carbon emission than the one that F1 cars are using right now. This has been more than enough to convince Volkswagen to enter the sport with two of its most formidable branches, Porsche and Audi. However, it seems like both of them are on a different path. Porsche has decided to be in a partnership where it will provide the engines only, but it will not own an F1 team. This is why they've most likely struck a deal with Red Bull, the constructors that heavily rely on other engine manufacturers. Currently, the Austrian team is in its last year in the contract with Honda, and until 2026, the team is supposed to run its own powertrains that will be monitored and helped by Honda. The Japanese manufacturer has decided to pull back from the sport after this year, and the new Austrian-German partnership will most likely be announced at the home track of Red Bull, which is the Austrian GP. The name of the team would be Red Bull Porsche Racing. However, Audi has had a different approach regarding its entrance into F1. The team wanted a full buyout of a team, or at least to be the owner by owning a massive amount of its stakes. Their first try was with McLaren, and it didn't go as smoothly as they expected. The director Zach Brown has stated loud and clear that the team isn't up for sale, and the only way that they could discuss is for a potential engine collaboration. However, this isn't what Audi had in mind, as they tried to knock on another door in the F1 world. This time, it seems like the door has been opened with a huge smile on the other side. Recent reports say that Audi has stricken a deal with ALFA ROMEO for a buyout of the team. The German manufacturer has already bought out 25% of the team, with expectations to buy out at least 50% more in the near future. Therefore, the team would own around 75% of ALFA ROMEO, which is not a small amount of money to invest in. ALFA ROMEO used to be Sauber on the grid, but after the buyout that happened in 2018 with the Italian company, it changed its name on the grid too. Sauber has been a target of buyouts multiple times in its existence. They were bought out by BMW in 2006 and raced under the name of BMW Sauber up until 2009. Sebastian Vettel had his debut in this team, and Robert Kubica also raced for BMW Sauber. Up until 2018, the team decided to go solo, but saw that there are very hard financial difficulties in this process, so it had to look for an investor. And they found one in ALFA ROMEO, which was initially a commercial partner, but it's now the owner of the team. However, the Sauber brand remains in the sport, and it's most likely to be bought out by Audi as of 2026. According to the ALFA ROMEO team director Friedrich Vasseur, another team on the grid has a higher chance to be bought out, and that one is Williams. He said that there are close relationships between Audi and Williams, and in his eyes, the chances of Audi entering the sport through Williams are much higher. The British team will have a deal of Alpine if Piastri replaces Latifi to run their cars with the French manufacturer engines, but they could turn to Audi when Piastri would potentially replace Alonso in the Alpine car. However, the announcement is still held back, and many talks about Audi possibly interacting with Aston Martin have also happened. This is mostly because Lawrence Stroll is said to be considering selling the team, but it's a much more complicated environment for Audi compared to ALFA ROMEO. So it seems like Audi has already entered the sport, but with nothing officially said, it's up to us to wait and see how things will transpire in the near future. Until then, stay safe and watch our videos to find out more content revolving around the F1 world.